We have Fred Agbanyo in the studio. He is the Deputy Communication Officer of the NDC, almost like a Deputy Communication Director, as you'll find in other parties as well. Just the semantics of the position, just the words being put together. Fred, how are you? Happy New Year. I haven't seen you this year.
Fabana, your only brother.
Oh,
I'm wondering sometimes.
You, when you see me, you keep accusing me, so I don't want to. Oh, become
at Yema Refi.
Yo, Mate. Me no hand it ye.
At Ye,
it's at Ye, my refuge. Me no hand it ye.
Yawa.
Yeah, Mate, the Yamanase.
How are you doing, by the way?
I'm good, sir.
Okay.
We know organized labor. They try meeting with government. They've not been able to resolve their differences. And so they said they will meet today and make a formal announcement whether they're going to have series of industrial actions which they are threatened if they were not able to come to a certain consensus with government in reducing the issues or the levels or the percentage levels of the tariffs on utilities, and also the implementation of the energy sector levy, which has resulted in some 28% increment in prices of fuel or other petroleum products. And Fred, what do you make of this? We know the discussion started about a week or two ago.
Well, let me say good morning to our viewers and Happy New Year to those who are seeing for the first time. I think it's quite interesting, and it's unfortunate that we should be having labor agitations around this time, first month of the year, 2016. The fact that the year is a peculiar year, going to elections, is something no government really would want to have. But when it becomes necessary for various labor unions to agitate or demonstrate their displeasure about something, you cannot stop them because you are in an election year. It's within their right to want to demonstrate. It's within their right to want to embark on industrial action. I am excited to the extent that they are trying to engage government through the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. I can only pray and hope that we are able to resolve the issues in-house so that it doesn't result in strikes and laying down of tools, which eventually will affect this particular country. I have always said that to increase utility prices is always a very difficult decision. And as a Christian, I know that even those who are collecting taxes in the days of the Bible were always seen as sinners and as enemies of the public. People never liked them. Nobody wants money to move out of his pocket. All of us would have wished that whatever money we have remains in our pocket so we can use for our own activities. But in a governance setup, it is not easy for an individual to get up and say, I'm going to construct a road, I'm going to provide water for the entire community, I'm going to do all the things that all of us are talking about, energy and stuff like that. It takes the government to do these things. Now, we also know that governments are not necessarily business entities. They are not profit-making organizations. So how does government get money to do the many things that all of us are crying for, including our roads, including our healthcare, including our education, and what have you? Government naturally will rely on the taxes that are paid by the people, and in some cases go for loans and some royalties that we get from our natural resources. This is where government normally gets money from. And so, to the extent that I alone cannot use my money to go and construct a road, but if they take your money small, they take mine small, they take Mama V small, everybody small, and put it together, that could become some huge amounts of money that could be used to construct a road that all of us eventually will benefit from. I would have thought that we would sometimes try to appreciate this thing that yes, they're taking the money from us, but the money eventually will come back to us in some other form. The only difficulty we have had over the years is that you wake up in the morning, you hear, for instance, that money that is supposed to go for all of us ends up in one or two people's pocket or has been misappropriated. So when they come back to you and say, okay, come and pay more money, naturally as human beings, you feel discontent. What is this? We pay so much money, it ends up in somebody's pocket. Why ask me to pay more money? But if the rulers, government can assure the people that, listen, the money that you pay is going to be used to provide some services that will benefit you. Like that in other countries. I don't think that our people will be, agitate or say that they will not pay the money. Because if you travel to every point in the world, in the UK, in the US, and the rest, you all know, you've been traveling, you know the amount of the money they pay in the area of taxes. People
well, that is true, but then they also have added incentives because that is complemented by the provision of other social intervention actionable policies.
That's right.
To mitigate. So, for example, once you say that there's excessive or there needs to be this percentage level of taxes on petrol and other petroleum products. You know that there will be tubes, there will be adequate trains, there will be buses, etc. There will be luxury coaches that will make it, because it's not everybody who can board any type of transport. I mean, we have to be truthful. I would want to park my car, and somebody else will want to park their car, but it's also the convenience.
What do you have next to move in? You see, but the only thing is that we need to appreciate one thing, that Ghana is still a nation that's on the path to development. We've not gotten there yet. And so all the good things are out there. They also went through the same process and struggled very hard to build and get to that level. And so, yes, it is painful, but we need to do it now. Maybe you and I may not live to enjoy that kind of luxury that people are enjoying in America and the UK, but the wish and the hope is that our children will come and benefit from those things. And somebody must lay the infrastructure for that. Now, coming to these oil increments and stuff like that, everybody's complaining about. Look at where we find ourselves as a people. Long before now, we didn't have oil in this country. We were not exporting oil. Then suddenly we found oil. We are exporting oil. In all our analysis, as far as budget is concerned, we have added revenue that we're going to generate from oil to our analysis. That, okay, we are going to get so much money from here if the price of oil remains at this in the world market. You wake up suddenly, you are told the price has fallen so drastically. It's come down so much so that all the projections that you made, all your expectations for that money now, you are not able to meet it. And yet, you still have to do development. So you have to construct your roads. You need to build your schools. You need to provide health care. Where then do you get the money from to do these things? And so you are compelled to want to increase prices, and naturally it creates some problem for people. Now, I've already been said, President Mahama made a very profound statement the last 3 days when he met the press, when he said that as a president, he was not elected to always take popular decisions. There are times you have to take the very hard decisions.
So that's a caveat statement for him.
No,
to be the premise on which if taxes are increased and perhaps genuine concerns are raised, and we should also say this is across-board genuine concerns being raised by not only organized labor, by sectional groupings within our population who think that the taxes indeed are really steep, and so perhaps we needed to take due cognizance of the fact that this is the current state in which we are, and we needed to take also policies that would ensure that the ordinary Ghanaian is cushioned.
I agree. I agree that everybody is complaining about it. As I sit here, I wish I could just drive to the filling station and they pump fuel into my vehicle. I don't have to pay so much money. But the reality is that we cannot have a situation like that. We would definitely need to pay more for fuel. And I made the statement I was making when I made reference to the president and the fact that it is not every day that you have to take popular decisions. Sometimes you have to take very hard decisions. It's just like a parent living with your family in the house, a father living with your family in the house. Then maybe if you live in the singing room for all this while. And one day you said, listen, we are tired of this. We need to go build our own house. So the money that we're using in having all the fun every weekend, we want to stop all the fun. Let's save that money and go and buy our own plot of land. Initially, the children will resist. Your wife may even resist. What is this? You are taking our comfort from us. But at the end of the day, from the middle to the long term, the same family now benefit. They now live in their own comfort.
So that's the rationale for the.
So it's unfortunate, but it's a situation.
These are just difficulties that we just have to bear with in the meantime.
Maybe just that.
Okay, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll be admitting into the discussion Mike Okwe Jr. He is a Deputy Communication Director of the MPP, but also a legal practitioner. And when we come back, we'll be talking about, he will give a little more comment on the subject of government labor discussions on whether they can reach a consensus on whether they have to reduce the taxes or also reduce the tariffs that have been imposed on the utilities. And also we'll talk about the MPP making a claim that, well, they still believe that 200,000 multiple registrations in the Ashanti region only cited in all the discussions is quite a bit strange. And we'll have a lot more discussions on that subject as well. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Michael Quay Jr. is ready. Well armed. How are you?
Thank you very much.
It's been a while. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Okay.
Too.
So we're discussing something about the labor discussions that they're having with government. But we quickly wanted to move on to the subject of the EC and what your party has been raising. Indeed, you convened a mammoth press conference yesterday to state your issues. Just the clarifications on the labor issues. Just succinctly about 2 minutes.
Yes,
I think that will be fine. Then we'll move on to the
that's
main
fine.
issues.
I just want to quickly say that the labor organizations, one thing I've noticed this year is that if you look at what is going on across board, the Catholic bishops, the Christian Council, various bodies are coming out and voicing, giving us their opinions. And that is very important. You see, there's always been a tradition in this country where when you don't like what government is doing, that means you are opposition. But are we trying to say that these bishops, senior men at that, astute Ghanaians, responsible fathers, it is opposition who would tell them what to feel, what is going on? I am very happy. A lot of people were saying that the opposition should go on strike on this matter. And I say, you know what? It's about time the Ghanaians spoke for themselves. Because after all, we represent the interests of a segment of Ghanaians. And we are saying we are representing the suffering masses. How can the NDC dare to think that they can get away with 60% increase in electricity, 67% increase in water? So now when you go around, the Ghanaians, when they are talking about electricity, you know the new song that's come, electricity, Eki Kimi. You know that song? Yes. They are singing it out of pain.
Indeed, I've heard this refrain too.
Yes, pain, electricity, Eki Kimi. NDC, this is what you have brought to Ghanaians. And when Ghanaians complain, you come and dare sit here that, and John Mahama loves them so much, that's why he has increased it to make their lives better. And yet, anytime we increase taxes, you rather go and use the money to do things like branding buses. Waste the money, spend the money, I confirm this, that. Then when you come and I don't understand what's going on. But you know what's funny? I am happy, say, as they say in Tree, now Ghanaians have had enough. And the Ghanaian labor people who are going to demonstrate, I hope that the government is not going to say that they are opposition people. In fact, sometimes when the workers go and demonstrate, they say it is opposition who has pushed them. So they are stupid. They don't know what's going on in their house. My brother, look at this petrol increase. 25%. Everywhere in the world, petrol is going down. Their citizens are buying for less. How can we buy a gallon for $16, 16 Ghana cedis for 1 gallon? It is preposterous. And what even hurts me is the fact that within a 4-week space, water, electricity, fuel increase, then you come and top it up with a Guantanamo Bay detainees, like a bonus. You see, whether we like it or not, you give it to us. You will shove it down our throat.
I always have this question.
How disrespectful.
I always have this question to you and for all those who keep making the argument. For example, when you appear on the platform, for all the things that we're saying, we're in a certain state and we have to be realistic about the state in which we are. I know you go back and tell me who put us in this very state, but this is the current state in which we are. So don't go and raise 2012 issues again. But hence, what do? We have to be realistic and say these are the steps that we need to take. Otherwise, we're in a certain dire
Because
state.
of time, I'll answer it too very briefly. Yes, we have to be realistic and we have to take certain steps. The realistic steps to take is to vote the NDC out.
But that's in 20.
Because no, I'm saying because they are not good at running the economy.
But that's on November 17th.
My brother, let me make this analogy to Ghanaians. Look, NDC, not us saying it, IMF, they ran this country for virtually, let's say even 8 years. I won't say 19 years, 8 years. Our state in 2001 was HIPIC. And you cannot claim HIPIC when you're not HIPIC. Okay? Then after 8 years, somebody else came into power. And we moved to lower middle income economy. They know it. Dr. Dufo, Fifi Kuti and the rest, they wrote a report to World Bank on that. Okay. Then the same group of people who took us to HIPIC have come back for 8 years and now we have IMF bailout. And you want to argue about economy? I don't understand them. Ghanaians should just do us a favor by voting out the incompetent and economic mismanagement NDC.
Your point has been made. Your point has been made on that very subject. Okay. Now let's move on to the new party describing the EC's claim that it has identified 200,000 cases of multiple registrations in the Ashanti region are strange and impossible. Speaking at a press conference, the campaign manager for the party said the Electoral Commission boss, Charlotte Osei's disclosure is very strange because at page 23 of the EC's response to the MPP, it stated that it had identified 150,000 names nationwide. For several months, the opposition, MPP, and civil society groups have been pushing for a new electoral register. And